So, if you go to the Canvas assignment, you must understand that there are consequences for your actions as president. Okay? If you're on the atomic bomb decision, I changed some stuff. This is the only thing I'm going to have you do this week. Because all of our partners from Tuesday's stuff are gone. And rather than say, like, do it over the weekend, we're just going to get rid of that and say, you get this done, which you're going to have plenty of time today to do. You go, you're a free man and woman for the weekend and don't have to worry about it. Okay? So here's what you have to pick, and this is color-coded just like the presentation. Option 1, go through with Operation Downfall. Invade Japan, that will end the war. Okay? You know what that will entail. If you choose that, you shall write an original letter to Chuck Tatum's widow. Now, historically, when I've done this assignment, Chuck Tatum was still alive until 2 years ago. He was a Marine. He wrote a book about the Pacific War. HBO used his book, Red Blood, Black Sand, and some others to make the miniseries of the Pacific. He survived Iwo Jima, and he survived the Pacific War. If we would have chosen Operation Downfall, he probably wouldn't have survived because he would have had to go invade Japan. He has since died of natural causes at his home in Stockton, California. So rather than write him a letter, because he's dead now, you're going to write his widow a letter, which I think is harder to do. And say, hey, Evelyn, I know that as president I had these 2 atomic bombs, but I would have chosen to send your husband and up to 5 million other American men into harm's way by invading Japan and going through with Operation Downfall. Sorry. Okay? And yes, you will send it. Will you open that drawer right next to you, Kim, with the no handle? Or wait, are there envelopes sticking out? Yes, I have stacks of envelopes if you think I'm bluffing. Hold those up and wave them around. You will actually mail this to her if you choose Operation Downfall. Here is her contact info. I am really good at creeping on people online and finding their contact info.
That's scary.
No, here's what's scarier. If you choose option 2, drop the bombs, okay? You will be writing our friend Yoshitaka Kawamoto, who you read about, walking through his middle school, talking to his buddy whose brains are oozing through a fracture in his skull and who has one eye dangling from its socket, and say, hey, current director of the Hiroshima Peace Museum, whose sole purpose is to rid the world of nuclear weapons, I would have dropped those bombs on you and your friends all over again. You will send this letter. If you do not mail this letter, I have his address in Japan. I even have his phone number and his fax number too. If you do not send that, you will fail U.S. History second semester. I am not bluffing because this is one of our big tests. Now, I will tell you this. If you don't have a conscience, then this is easy. I'll just pick one and write a letter. If you have a conscience, this is not an easy decision to make. Welcome to being president. Do you see why I think this is the toughest decision any president has ever made? It's at least one of the toughest. Because the United States is the only country to use atomic energy against humans on purpose. We opened Pandora's box.
Pandora's box is what gave humanity everything. Like free will. There used to be a bunch of apes.
Do we recognize, Des, during the Cold War, the Soviet and American nuclear arsenal is going to be so prolific that we could have wiped off every single living thing from the face of every square inch of the earth 9 times over.
Can still do that.
That's a scary thought. Because here's the difference between a conventional Operation Downfall type invasion and an atomic bomb. One guy punches in one code in a briefcase, bam. That's pretty easy to do. Now, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. They're both horrible choices. This is just like Dankelman's game he likes to play with his friends on the track bus. Would you rather date the ugliest girl in Kimmer or the ugliest girl in Mountain View? Neither one's good, not going to lie. But you got to pick. Okay? I didn't hear that. Okay? So, you understand your options. All you have to do is turn in the letter to Canvas. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what to say to them, but you have my whole presentation full of those statistics and figures. You can Google stuff. You can ask me or anyone else questions. You must explain your decision to whoever is going to suffer from it. If you choose downfall, American Marines will suffer. So send his widow a letter and saying, here's why your future husband's probably going to die on a beach in Kyushu when I could have just dropped a bomb, and you'll never marry him and have kids. Sorry. Okay? Or Yoshitaka Kawamoto, I know what you went through, and it was horrible, and we killed hundreds of thousands of your countrymen. In basically a science experiment, I would do it all over again if I was president.
Isn't this almost insulting to those people though, if we choose a second?
No!
I mean, because-
If it's not insulting to them, because if you can't rationalize whatever decision you're bouncing around between your head,
I
then
can easily rationalize it because I'd rather give up 100,000 Japanese for one American, but the fact remains that this guy's whole goal is to get rid of nuclear weapons, and then we're writing him a letter saying that we would rather get rid of or kill him using nuclear weapons again.
well, if that's how you really feel, then what's wrong with telling him that? You can disagree.
Well, I just find it insulting to tell the guy.
But you have to explain it in a way. The point is not to insult him, it's to explain why. As president, here's my option. This or this. I'm choosing the bombs because if you can't explain that to the guy, then you're picking the wrong option. Question, Donovan? Who? No. Good catch. I'll change that. Okay, any questions on this? There's the envelopes. Do I look like the kind of guy who jokes around on a Thursday morning? No, she's still alive, I checked. He died in 2014, but she's still alive. We have mailed numerous letters to both of these. I won't tell you what's happened to some of the people who have in the past.